all prosecutors are conspiracy theorists. They're just a bunch of conspiracy theorists. And that's okay, because there's nothing inherently false about about a conspiracy occurring. I'm a conspiracy theorist. There's nothing to apologize about it for being that. Conspiracies happen all the time. And why I say prosecutors are a bunch of conspiracy theorists, that's because it's very common for people that engage in financial fraud to be charged with conspiracy. Off the top of my head, I know that Elizabeth Holmes was convicted of conspiracy. Also, the late Bernie Ebbers, the of WorldCom, he was convicted of conspiracy. And I know that the college admissions scandal, I think many of the defendants there were charged with conspiracy as well. I'm not sure if any were. I think most of them had some plea agreements, but originally they were charged with conspiracy. So presuming then all prosecutors recognize laws that are criminal laws against conspiracy, certain forms of conspiracy, especially in the financial sector, then therefore all prosecutors must recognize that conspiracies happen. Now, well, then you might be asking, well, why would that follow then that they believe in theories about conspiracy? I would argue that it's adding the attribute of theory to the term conspiracy is redundant, as all beliefs about conspiracies are supported theoretically. That is, now so then we got to go to the point where, well, we need to define what is a theory and what is a conspiracy. As you notice, nobody seems to bother to do that when they say, like you often hear about people when they're talking about allegations of some kind of matter going on with, say, the deep state, with the elites. But they'll say, well, but I'm not. It's not a conspiracy theory, as though that's some kind of derisive term. So that's why I'm making this video. Is I'm trying to normalize the engaging in conspiracy theory. There's nothing wrong with it. It's rather good. What I think has happened is that the deep state conspirators have gone about trying to turn it into a derisive term, conspiracy theory, in order to prevent people from investigating into actions that the deep state is engaged in. It's because if people do that kind of investigation, then inevitably they will discover evidence of conspiracies existing. And so these conspirators, they want to discourage that. So what are they supposed to do? So they don't want people looking into their what kind of secretive plots they're engaged in. So they try to engage in some kind of social engineering, where they try to spread this term, conspiracy theorist, put that out into the social networking sphere, and so that people will be discouraged from looking into investigating these the actions of the deep state. Because inevitably, if they do investigate, they'll find evidence of conspiracies. So it's a way to discourage people, because people, they don't want to be seen as, people are social creatures. They want they do not want to be viewed as some kind of nut and some kind of fringe person that's as engaging in an activity that is not considered socially acceptable. And so that's what I think these social engineers within the deep state are doing, that they want to portray people that investigate them as being engaging in a socially unacceptable activity. But that's where I'm coming in here. I'm trying to point out that, well, prosecutors, they're conspiracy theorists too, but they are also engaging in socially acceptable activities. So if they're engaging in socially acceptable activities and being a conspiracy theorists, then so are the rest of us that are investigating the deep state, looking into their nefarious activities. We are also engaging in socially acceptable activities as well, just like the prosecutors are. So why is a belief about a conspiracy existing, why is that inherently theoretical? So then we need to look at what is a theory. Well, I think that word theory derives from the same word as ethereal, so it's something in the ether. It's not tangible. So mainly it means just not a belief that is not supported by empirical evidence. Now, empirical evidence is just evidence that is of the sensory nature, from the senses, taste, touch, hearing, smell, sight, hearing. Those are the senses that you use to support a belief, but a theoretical belief is not supported by those, by the senses. It's not empirically supported. Now, you can also say that a theory can, or a non-theoretical belief can also be, say, an analytic a priori belief. That is a belief that is supported by analyzing a statement that does not require empirical evidence either. But mainly the term theory is about any belief that is not supported by the senses epistemologically. It does not require the senses empirical evidence to support the belief. Now we have basic, just cursory understanding of what a theory is. Now let's look at a conspiracy. I find it's surprisingly difficult to define a conspiracy. So, but what we can at least know that are a couple of necessary ingredients required for a conspiracy to exist. One is that it has to be secret, and the other has to be a plan by a plan by two or more people, a shared plan. It can't be just one person acting alone. That's not a conspiracy. So it has to be at least two people sharing a plan, and it has to be secret. Now, people can also engage in plans and keep them secret just because for privacy reasons. So I think it also has to be a nefarious, it has to be done for it to be conspiracy. The plan by two or more people has to be kept secret deliberately secret for illegitimate or nefarious reasons. All those ingredients are at least necessary. May not be sufficient, but they're necessary for for a conspiracy to exist. Now, so why can't you may be asking, well, why can't a conspiracy be non-theoretical? Well, when you think about it, well, there has to be a plan in the minds of these two or more people for they're planning both a plan and the intention to keep it deliberately secret. That's in the minds. That has to exist inside the minds of the plotters who are engaged in a conspiracy. Now, where in the world are anybody, prosecutors or otherwise, able to read minds with using their senses? I mean, they can't just see into the minds of the plotters in a conspiracy. So therefore, they can't use the senses to justify the belief that a conspiracy exists. Therefore, they must be theorizing that a conspiracy exists. So the prosecutors are theorizing that a conspiracy exists between two or more people. They're not using the senses. The prosecutors are not using their senses. So it's a theory about a conspiracy theory. And that's what it exists also when we're talking about, say, the Bilderbergers, the assassination of JFK, the 9/11 as an inside job. Those are also, just like prosecutors in a financial case, we are theorizing about the existence of a plan by two or more people that's being kept deliberately secret for nefarious reasons, illegitimate nefarious reasons. But now we look at something like the World Economic Forum and their GreatReset plan. I don't know if that necessarily can be described as a conspiracy, because they're so open about what they're planning and plotting to do. Now, remember, a conspiracy the plan has to be deliberately being kept secret for it to be a conspiracy. But with the World Economic Forum, with the interviews with Harari and Schwab, and their speeches, they're very open about their nefarious plots. They're not very secretive. However, we could say that maybe the extent of the plans of the World Economic Forum, that might be. Then we can go even beyond what they're planning. But it's surprising how open they are. The World Economic Forum are with their plans. Not just with Harari and Schwab, but also you just go on the website. It's a very vast website they have, the World Economic Forum. You can spend a lot of time on that site, just going to their different web pages and seeing what the ideas they have for such things as microchip wearables and implants. That alone, just off the top of my head, I can think they have a lot of articles on their plans there. So that's not so much a conspiracy theory, because it's not being kept very secret. They're very open about it. But yeah, overall, I think that I'd like to just see people that are investigating and making commentary on the actions of deep states and just the global political movements in general, that these commentators, they need to stop saying, "Well, this is not a conspiracy theory," even when it clearly is a theory. Stop trying. I think what happened, they're just playing into the hands of the deep state, who want to continue with this meme that somehow this reasoning that if it's a conspiracy theory, therefore false, which is of course not a logically sound argument, but all these indie journalists and commentators, they often go right along with it. They're going, even though that they're the biggest critics of the deep state, they're going along. I think they're going along with this in itself is a conspiracy by the deep state to make it a derisive term to refer to these investigative independent journalists as conspiracy theorists. They're just playing in. These indie journalists are playing into the hands of the deep state when they try to defend their commentary as not being a conspiracy theory. So they should just say, they should embrace it, like I do. I embrace myself as a conspiracy theorist. I think that it's an inherent part of investigating the powers that be you're inevitably going to become a conspiracy theorist if you're investigating the global elite, the powers that be, the deep state, whatever you want to call it. You're going to become a conspiracy theorist, and there's nothing wrong with it. Just as there's nothing wrong with prosecutors prosecuting financial fraudsters who are engaging in conspiracies. So yes, I'm a conspiracy theorist, and I'm proud of it. And that and by saying that, I'm going against the deep state, and which I believe are the ones who created the whole term as a deep conspiracy theorist as a derisive term. And so we need to, one of the ways to fight against the deep state is to normalize the use of the term conspiracy theorist and conspiracy theorizing, which I'm trying to do now. So that's the whole purpose of this video I'm making. I guess hopefully I've made my point. I guess that's all I have to say for now. So if you're watching, thanks for watching.